Hey there, YouTubers. It is I, Omki Excalibur here, bringing you, yes, that's right, my top 13 greatest, most evil Marvel supervillains. Now, Marvel isn't really known for their villains, really. I mean, let's face it, they're more or less known for their superheroes. We all know this. Though there are a bunch of villains that do stand out. And we're going to be looking at some of the better villains in the Marvel Universe. So stay tuned.
Number 13, Carnage.
Carnage. Now, a lot of people are going to ask why he's number 13. Well, that's really just due to the fact that he was overexposed during the 90s. I mean, he was in almost every other Spider-Man comic and other comics as well. So he really isn't that great of a villain in my opinion. But he still makes it onto the list nevertheless due to the fact that, well, he is evil. Now, Cletus Cassidy, or, Carnage, was a serial killer. And though his motives for being a serial killer are not very good, he still is pretty horrifying. I mean, a guy who finds a symbiote suit, and then the symbiote suit allows him to create whatever weapons or whatever he wants. That's pretty frightening. So, yeah, he makes it to the 13th spot because of this.
Number 12, Magneto.
Now, Magneto. People are going to be really surprised that I put him so low on the list. I mean, it's Magneto, for crying out loud. Magneto is probably the most famous, other than the Green Goblin, of the Marvel villains. And the reason why I put him on this low on the list is, well, due to the fact that he's not really evil. What he's doing is he feels is right. He is fighting for the freedom of his people, the mutants, which he wasn't able to fight for his people, the Jews, during World War II, and he was put in concentration camp and all these other things. So, I mean, in all reality, he's fighting the prejudice in the only way he knows how, and that's by fighting back. So, really, I can't actually blame Magneto for what he's done. And the other fact is that he's, well, more than willing to work with the X-Men and Charles Xavier. They're still friends. He still considers Charles Xavier his greatest friend. He feels that Charles Xavier is a little misguided, and Charles Xavier feels that, well, Magneto is misguided, but they still respect one another. In fact, they respect each other so much so that at one point, while Charles Xavier was incapacitated, Magneto came and became headmaster at the Xavier School. He was a teacher there. So really, he's not a villain, he's just a freedom fighter. And due to that fact, I can't really say that he's evil, but he's still a great villain.
Number 11, the Red Hulk.
The Red Hulk. Now, this guy's a little new to the whole Marvel universe, but from everything that I've read thus far, he's a pretty good villain. I mean, he's as intelligent as Bruce Banner and as strong as the Hulk, with every intention of using his powers to get what he wants and destroy anyone that gets in his way. Hell, his first introduction is framing the Hulk for killing Abomination and beating the tar out of A-Bomb and other characters like that. And really, the Red Hulk is a mystery. No one knows who he is. He is a mystery. We don't know who he is. We don't know his background. He just sort of appears. So in a way, that's also a very interesting aspect of this character. He doesn't have a background. And I kind of like that. He's a force that just comes out of nowhere. And, I mean, that shows a lot. Anyways, I like the Red Hulk.
Number 10, Loki.
Now, I had to put Loki pretty low on the list because, well, honestly, I love the character in the comic books. He's a great character, but he doesn't really stay true to the character that he is in Norse mythology. Now, Loki is the stepbrother of Thor. He was adopted by Odin for being the most beautiful of all the frost giants. This is a little changed, and well, Loki is always seen as an evil, conniving person who's sitting there planning and kind of exiled from the gods in the comic books, which isn't true. In Norse mythology, he was very active in helping the Norse gods out until near the end there, where he kind of went crazy and started killing people. But nevertheless, in the comics, he's an enjoyable villain, and I really enjoy his plans and his plots to get revenge on his stepbrother Thor for taking his glory, which I think is kind of an important aspect of the character in the comic book. So, yeah, that's Loki.
Number 9. Venom.
Venom. He's the other really important symbiotic character in the Spider-Man universe in Marvel. I mean, right now this Venom symbiote has been bonded to Max Gargan, and while Max Gargan's a great villain and whatnot, I don't feel he's as good as Eddie Brock. He's not as complex as Eddie Brock was as a villain. Now, Eddie Brock was originally a writer for the Daily Bugle. Or not the Daily, for a newspaper. I forget what it was. My apologies. And he was famous for his correspondence with a serial killer known as the Sin Eater. Now, Eddie Brock didn't know that the Sin Eater that he was talking to was a fake Sin Eater, and then when it was exposed, he was fired. And he blamed Spider-Man solely for this. While the symbiote, which was attached to Spider-Man, was madly in love with Parker and wanted to be bonded to him forever. When Spider-Man rejected it, it was deeply hurt, and it bonded to Eddie Brock due to survival tactics. And because of the love that the symbiote had for Spider-Man, and due to the hatred that Eddie Brock had for Spider-Man, the two became unstable and drove each other crazy, in which they were both of two different minds, which is why they referred to each other as we. Now, Eddie Brock is interesting because he is not a typical villain. He's really, what he wants to do is become a superhero with his powers. He wants to help people in his own twisted kind of way. But he can't do this while Spider-Man's alive. So he is more than happy to go against his good guy beliefs and destroy Spider-Man due to his deep hatred of him. So really, he's kind of a tragic character in the fact that he wants to be a good guy, and yes, he usually kills the people that he's that he's fighting against. But that's just the way he interprets it. These people don't deserve to live. And again, he can't be this superhero that he dreams of being because of Spider-Man. So, it's interesting.